All right, I'm back. I'm not back. We're doing these back to back to back to everybody. Stephen Key here with patent attorney, IPWatchdog founder, Gene Quinn. Thank you for coming on and doing another of these YouTube videos for us.
Thanks for having me, Stephen. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Uh, Gene, you have more information.
Mhm.
Now, everyone, I know you're searching online about patents, about protection, trademarks, copyright. I don't care. If it has to do with protecting your creativity, there's one place you need to go. I go there. And I'll tell you, I know a little bit about this because I've been doing it for a long time. But when I need the most current information, if I want to know what's going on in the world of intellectual property, I go to IPWatchdog.com, and that's your site, Gene.
Yeah.
How many articles do you have on that?
Oh my God. It's probably around 10,000. Yeah, it's hard to believe. It's hard, when we redesign or update the website, it's always this uh challenge because the database is just gotten so large, and it's not only the articles, but it's the comments, it's the images, it's the graphics. We have just all the problems of a major publication.
10,000 articles, everyone, the time and effort it took to do all that, to compile all that information to help us. Gene, it's really truly remarkable because I'll tell you, if I have a question, you always have an answer. You have an article for anything I could even dream up. You have an article for it.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that because that's the way that we try and do it, particularly when we're writing for um, inventors, entrepreneurs, small businesses, because the way that they approach in it turns out the way most people approach Google, for example, is to type in a question, and so we try and phrase these things in the way that you're going to ask it. And sometimes, like for example, um, what is a provisional patent? That's an article. And the first thing to tell you is there's no such thing as a provisional patent. Let me explain. But we have it there like that because that's the way that
Okay.
real people ask the question. And then we try and explain to them what really matters, what's going on, and what the question is. And then also when popular conception is incorrect, we try and sort that out so that you understand, because I'm a firm believer that if you want to do business in the industry, you need to sound like you belong in the industry. Know what people who you're going to be trying to license this, know what they know, understand what they talk, like they talk, use the terms that they use. And that's our approach, really.
What I like about it also is it's written in such a way that I can understand it. And I think everyone can. It's down at a level that's really easy to go, okay, I grasp that concept. I was looking at some information about China. Can you protect it in China, and what are some of the
Mhm.
tools? And I thought, well, I'm just going to go over and Gene's site and see. And you had all of it there. It was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, we've got lucky over the years that we've found people with real specific knowledge about China, knowledge about Brazil or Germany, and we've expanded outside the U.S. Still, probably 75 to 80% of what we do focuses on the U.S., but we really try and bring the world and make it approachable because, as we were just talking about, Stephen, sometimes the right answer is to file a PCT because what you've come up with is so potentially ubiquitous. It could be used everywhere. And getting, or at least establishing the ability to have international rights may be critical for the person who you're going to either sell this to or license.
I'm working on a project, and I was thinking about filing in different countries, and I wanted to know if I could get protection in China because that's been kind of sketchy over the years.
Yes.
And so you had an article, and it kind of talked about the laws have changed a little bit, and it gave me a different perspective. It talked about working with manufacturers over there, and there's some tools to use. It
Mhm.
really was. It allowed me to go forward to make good decisions.
Yes, that's what we try and do. I don't try and this actually, as I think has got me in trouble at times because I try not to pigeonhole people. I try and give them information and realize that, for some people, one path is going to be better than another path. And then the folks that are out there that think that they know best to say, oh no, you need to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, well, yeah, if you have an unlimited budget, X, Y, and Z is the right thing to do, but who has an unlimited budget? So a lot of times you need to think about, well, how can I do what I need to do within the money that I actually have? And telling you that, oh, you just need to spend $1 million and that'll solve all your problems. Well, no, you're not going to have $1 million, most of you. And if you spend it, it wouldn't solve your problem because you just spent $1 million. What you need to do is you need to figure out how can I, with the money that I have, move forward. And I'm a fan, and I think you are too, of bootstrapping. And little by little, you invest a little by little, and you spend more of your own time, particularly on the front end, to see whether this is going to pan out. Because if you really are an inventor, you are going to have multiple inventions.
Yeah.
It's not like just an idea, oh, clap on, clap off. I thought of that, like the commercial says. Well, there's a lot between thinking about it and actually making it happen. And if you go through step by step by step and invest little by little by little, as long as it makes sense, pretty soon you've bootstrapped this to a point where now it's either going to fly
Okay.
or it's going to crash. And if it crashes, that's to a large extent a happy problem because you want to crash quick so you can move on to what's next. But you got to crash still having money and still having resources.
There you go. Gene, how do you navigate because of your experience in DC and all the things you do with the patent laws? How do you navigate from the high level things that you do to really care about us inventors down low? I
Well,
mean, to me, they're so far apart, but you seem
they
to care for us.
Well, I do. I really, really do. And as I was just sharing with you, my wife is now a patented inventor. She got is a design patent, but it's a patent, and those have their place. And she's very happy today. I would love to be an inventor. I haven't come up with the right thing
Okay.
to let me move forward. But my uncle was an inventor, and he, like so many inventors, it got to the point where he was just getting his patents and hanging them on the wall.
Right.
And and there's nothing wrong with that. He was very happy to participate, very glad to be a patented inventor. It just never really worked out for him for a variety of reasons. And sometimes it doesn't work out. And the one for him, he was told what some buyer needed, spent 6 to 9 months creating exactly what he was told they needed, filed his application, then showed back up and said, I have it. And there had been a paradigm shift in between.
Oh no.
And so now they weren't interested in what he had come up with. They were interested in the new, which was an important iteration in advance, but wasn't the next generation.
Okay.
And so I looked at that and I thought, there's sometimes that type of stuff happens and then you can't do it. But what drives America, I think, are risk takers who have a dream. And there's no better place to point to where that is found in inventing. Independent inventors, garage inventors, startup inventors, entrepreneurs. They're what drives America.
Well,
And if I can help those types of people succeed along the way, I am just thrilled.
well, I'm just glad you fight for us a little bit because I know that you do a lot of other things in a much bigger scale, a much bigger world, but you still care about us, which it shines through in everything you do. So thank you for
Well,
that.
I'm glad. I'm glad because I really do. And I think, and this is, always irritates me because I write about, and talk about the, Apples and Googles and they're so big that their view of what the patent system should be is very different than what would help somebody who's an independent inventor or even a well-funded startup at this point, But what irritates the hell out of me, Stephen, is they were all just like the independent inventor. They all started like ultra small with a folding table and two guys in a dorm room. That's where Silicon Valley started. And somewhere along the way, they lost that I mean, most of those companies couldn't exist in the world they've created for others today. They would never have started. So I think it's very critical now. Luckily, for inventors who are creating, tangible things that you could see on the shelf at Home Depot or see on the shelves at Walmart, that that end of the industry works pretty well, and it hasn't fallen apart, as we've talked about, you and I, privately, because there are a lot of companies that want and need new products year after year after year, and maybe the product will last a year or two or three on the shelves. It's just not worth it to fight about whether I should be paying you or not, when the product is going to be gone off the shelves before we ever get a trial date.
Right.
So in that end of the industry, it continues to work the way that it should. So you need to understand that and realize that all of the world is going to hell stuff that you read, that we write and publish. Yeah, it's not the way it used to be, but that doesn't affect independent inventors really.
No, it really doesn't. And it, like I'm gonna talk about it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
There's different types of situations where patents work beautifully and other situations where they don't, but that's a whole nother conversation. But Gene, can I say this? Is there any other site in the world that has as much information on this topic than yours? I
No.
think I can make that claim, right? I mean, it's the
Yeah.
number
No,
one
that's
source
yeah.
in the
That is
world.
fair. And even the publishing houses that are much, much larger than we are don't have as much, and they don't get as much traffic as we do. I know that to be true. And that shocks people, but it's just, we've put one foot in front of the other for literally 25 years.
Yeah.
We have a lot of great content and a lot of, and we give it away for free, so that also helps our numbers as well. But that's always what I believed in, just giving this stuff away for, and obviously we need to make a living, and you can make a living doing this the way we've done. I've done it for 25 years, and yeah, it boggles my mind sometimes, but we are the largest by probably an order of magnitude.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that at all. And everyone, he said something very interesting. There's no paywall here.
Yeah,
It's
no.
free. And 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 today you don't see that all the time. And
No, you don't. And I don't understand why. And I see more people in our little space recently decide to put a paywall up. And I get it. I get it, because it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of energy. But my philosophy has always been like a field of dreams philosophy: build it and they will come. And then when you come, then maybe you'll be interested in coming to one of our events, or maybe you'll be interested in something else that we have going on, or maybe you'll be interested in something one of our sponsors is doing, and we which is important to us because we are sponsor supported. But the information is always free. It's just, it is what it is. I mean, you got to get people to come and want to be a part of your community, and I think we have a pretty vibrant community.
I do too. Everyone, if you have any questions on how to protect your creativity, please go to IPWatchdog.com. He's got more information than anyone in the world. The biggest information. It's current. It's amazing. Gene, thank you for doing it. That's a labor of love, everybody. That's what you're seeing over there.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, Stephen. It's always great to talk to you.
All right. Thank you.
If you're not sure about this and you need a little help, please give us a call. We have a program called Gateway where we do everything for you. We know how to reach out to the right companies. We know how to reach out to the right people. We know how to make sure your marketing material is communicating correctly so they can look at it, they can make good decisions. We know what questions they're going to ask, and we can be prepared for those questions in advance. And when that licensing agreement comes over, we can help make sure it's a fair and balanced licensing agreement so everybody's happy. Basically, we're doing all the work for you. It's our program called Gateway, and if you need help on any of this, please pick up the phone, call us, and let's see if Gateway is right for you.